All right. What's up, guys? It's Anthony from AB Fitness Center here. And today we have another jam-packed client interview today. And I have on one of our best clients. This is Nancy on the other side here. So, hey, Nancy, how are you?
Good, Anthony. How are you?
Very, very good. Nancy is one of our biggest success stories for a lot of different reasons, and we'll find out soon. So she's down pretty much about 30 pounds at, I don't want to say your age. I'll let you say your age, but she's doing phenomenal. She continues to change. And even during this quarantine and everything going on with the quarantine, she actually managed to hit her lowest weight possible. So that's awesome. That's so huge. So welcome on, Nancy. So, hey, Nancy, how are you?
I'm good. And I'm 59. I can't believe it, but I'm 59.
I don't want to say it. So I'll let you say it because
That's okay.
A lot of people, when they get over a certain age, I've noticed it seems to happen after like 40, 45-ish. They start to like, oh, it's my age. I'm too old. I can't do this.
Yes.
So, and I think that you've definitely defined those odds because you're at the lowest weight right now you've ever been in at least 20 years, you just told me.
Exactly. Probably more like 25.
So awesome. And we're so proud of you. This is why I wanted you on here, because we're going to give some tips and tricks to other people listening to this so they can have your type of success. So Nancy,
Okay.
let's start this off. Introduce yourself, talk about kind of what you've done in the past and other things that you've tried and where you are now. Just kind of give us like a short rundown of what you've tried and where you are now.
Okay. I've tried the quick fix diets. I've tried the Nutrisystem. I tried the Weight Watchers, and it all seemed to work for a short period of time. But after that, I kind of lost interest. I wasn't seeing results. I was using a personal trainer at another gym for a couple of years, and I saw results, but I have to be honest with you. I can't believe the results that I've seen in just less than a year with you guys. It's unbelievable. You had your session the other day about the other gyms, and I totally related to it because they had me jumping on the boxes and, things that I couldn't do at home. So I was just cracking up when I heard you say that, because I definitely could testify to that the results, I was doing it and I just, I wasn't getting results as quickly as I am now.
Right. So let's go back to talk about the diets that you had. So you tried all these different things. So before you come to us now, I don't know, is it okay if I say your weight where you were before?
Sure.
I have to always ask. I have to ask.
No problem.
So you walk into us, you're 175 pounds at the time, and you're like, I can't take this anymore. I'm sick and tired of all these diets. So how did you find us? Talk about that whole transformation, and did you think it was going to be different this time?
I found you guys on Facebook, and I gave you a call, and you told me about the program. And to be honest with you, I didn't believe you. I'm like, lifting weights a half an hour. Come on. What kind of story, what kind of gimmick is this? All right. And in fact, I did call you when we had set up a time, and then I said, no, I can't do this. And then after thinking about it, I'm like, I have nothing to lose but weight or inches. So we met, and again, I didn't believe what you were saying to me, but I'm like, I have nothing to lose. I've tried everything else, and let's see where it goes. And the results have just been unbelievable, and the support from you guys have been just wonderful. It really has. I couldn't have done it without you guys. And the accountability, that's a big thing for me, that I have to be accountable every day, logging what I eat, sending it to you guys. Then you guys adjusting my carbs or fat or whatever you guys told me to do, I do.
Yeah. Oh, that's what makes you so successful, because you just listen. You just follow through. It's easy in that case.
It's not my way, I've tried it my way and it doesn't work.
So let's talk about that. So you're 175 now. You meet this this crazy guy's telling you, listen, work out less and just focus on what you're eating. Now, again, you had tried all these other diets in the past, and you said you were so skeptical. What was kind of like that defining moment where you were like, holy crap, this is actually working?
I guess the first time was when I got measured for my hips. And Laura had measured my hips. And I think I forgot how many inches I was down, and I didn't believe her. I said, no. And I even said to you, Anthony, I'm like, could you please remeasure my hips? Because I don't believe what she told me.
I remember that.
Yeah. And then I became a believer. I really did at that point, and just, working out. And if anybody would have told me I would have been at the gym at 6 a.m., I would have laughed at them. I would have laughed. Are you kidding me? 6 a.m. But with that and the diet, I did struggle with, keeping the numbers that I was supposed to with the carbs and the protein. In the beginning, it was a big adjustment, and I'm not going to lie about that. But once I used the app, it was easier. But still, it did take a long time. I really had to work on it, and now even till today, I work on it, logging everything in the morning. And then seeing what I have left over, and then I can't have this, but I can have this, and, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about that all the time, how hard the nutrition end of it, because the exercise, not that it's easy, but, you have an appointment, you have to go, you show up, you do it, you leave, right? Even if you're not in the mood to do it. But the nutrition is a constant, you constantly got to think about it. It's a constant, always checking to make sure you have enough for this or this, because the way we structure everything is you can kind of have whatever you want to eat as long as you fit it into your day. It's kind of like Tetris, as long as you can fit it in, then you can have it. But it is also leads to more permanent results that way. So you've been on all these other crazy diets, and I'm sure you've been on some that you've had to restrict things with. So talk about those types of diets, and then talk about what you're doing now. I want someone like you listening to this to say, oh, that sounds like me. I can do this.
Just trying to think. When I did the Nutrisystem, you had to eat their meals, and I mean, some of the food was good and some of the food was bad. But you really didn't get a choice. They kind of told you what you should be eating, and you didn't really have a choice. That if I wanted to have that Carvel one day, that just wasn't working. That wasn't happening. And the other day I wanted Carvel, and I worked it into my my meal plan. So you really were restricted as far as, I don't think I would have ever been able to have Carvel on like a Nutrisystem or a Weight Watchers. And I love my sweets. That's my downfall. You could keep the bread, you could keep the food, give me my sweets.
What's your favorite sweet?
Anything. Well, I guess ice cream. I'm a big ice cream person.
So how often do you have ice cream now?
Well, I sometimes during the week try and fit in the Skinny Cow flying saucer that they have. I have that a couple of, they're delicious. Yeah. I have them like once or twice a week, and just the past couple of weeks I've been fitting in Carvel and, kid-sized cone on Sunday nights. That's been, my treat.
It's funny because now people listening to this are like, wait, so hold on. So she lost, 30-something pounds. She's down about, you said you went from a size like 18 to a size like 8, again, depending on the cut of the clothes. So it's like, wait a minute. She's talking about eating Carvel here.
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense, because normally that doesn't go hand in hand, right?
Exactly. So
what was your biggest struggle, you think, nutrition-wise? And how did you overcome that? Because we've had some conversations, me and you, before, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that separate. Forget that.
Yeah.
I want to bring that up. I think you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what have been your biggest struggles nutrition-wise through this all? And how did you kind of overcome that? Because like I said, you dropped all these sizes and clothes, and you're eating ice cream every day, almost, every other day, whatever it is, a couple times a week. The old you would never believe that.
No, it wouldn't. I would never have believed it. It's just that there are so many things that I can eat that I never would have even thought of eating. Like, for example, when I have my shakes, I put the spinach and the kale in it, and it's delicious. I never would have thought of doing anything like that. I mean, and that's getting your vegetables in, even though it was a little clumpy in the beginning until you set me straight about putting water in the spinach. And now I could drink it. So, there are a lot of healthy options that aren't terrible, but it's just, getting to know what they are and, how to prepare them. And in the beginning, it was tough. It really was, logging everything. I had to do it exactly the way you told me to do it, have carbs, protein. But now I kind of don't have to do that. I keep with my calorie count, or, my macro counts. So now it's a lot easier. But it was hard work in the beginning, but it was worth it. It was frustrating.
Right. Right. And it's not an easy, listen, like anything else, I had a conversation with a nurse the other day, and she was like kind of asking me like, oh, how long until I finally get results? Well, it's like, if I want to become a nurse today, can I just walk into a hospital and say, oh, I'm here? No, it's not going to happen. It takes time. You have to understand how it works. You got to learn how it, the ins and outs of things. And it's the same thing with this too, that, nutrition and just exercising and getting in good shape is not easy. What you've accomplished is not easy. I mean, we're just getting started on that, because now once you get down to where you want to be, it's all about maintaining it. And that's a whole nother different thing in itself. But, so what was kind of like, I mean, I know you said like the logging and everything, but mentally, kind of what was your biggest struggles throughout this whole thing? Because you've kind of been struggling with going up and down for a little bit. Like before us.
Right. You know what? Because I would do it and then I would get bored. And then I'm like, oh, this isn't working. I really need structure, and that's what I needed. And I didn't have that before. I didn't have to be accountable to anybody. And that's really what's helped me along, getting different ideas, taking your suggestions and doing it, where before just trying to do it on my own wasn't working. For me, I need the structure, and I need to be accountable for what I'm eating and what I'm doing. And without that, I don't think I could have reached the success that I have.
Well, you said something really important there, is you took action on what we said. That's huge, Nancy. Not many people do that. That's the problem. That's the difference between an idea and getting there, taking that action. And you've done that. And every time you take action on something, you just get better and better and improve. So excellent. Another round of applause for you, because that's awesome.
Thank you.
So again, someone listening to this is like, oh, wow, she sounds like she had it down. She's eating ice cream a couple of days a week. She dropped all these sizes. She's down over 30 pounds. She's 59 years old. Amazing. But it's never easy. As we all know, it's not easy. We've had our hiccups along the way, Nancy, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And I tell people all the time, it's, when you try to diet and lose body fat, it's never going to be a straight line down. You're always going to lose a little bit, and your body's not going to want to give up anymore, and then it'll just drop. So we've had those points. We've hit those points where you've kind of leveled off a little bit. You plateaued a little bit, and it's totally normal in your journey. Your body starts to freak out and says, hey, you're getting to a weight that I'm not comfortable in. You've never been this weight for a long time. I was comfortable where I was. What's going on? And then it would just resist you and fights you. And I've had, conversations in the gym about that. We've shed some tears over all this. So think about that, because that's definitely a normal part in it. And when it does happen to people, it feels like the end of the world. It feels like you want to quit, but there's always success on the other side of that. So I'll let you tell everybody that story.
Oh, let's see. Oh, there was a few of them, but I thought that I was doing everything right. And, I was trying, and I came into the gym, and I think it was my fat loss. I wasn't losing the fat loss, and okay, I come in and I do it, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm not, look at this. I'm not working out as hard as I should be. What am I doing wrong? And I sat in the gym and I cried. And, you guys came over and you were like, this is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight, but I want everything to happen overnight.
Everybody does.
Right. You guys adjusted what I was eating, and I did see the results. And, I guess I was disappointed in myself, because I had higher expectations of what I should have been doing or how much I should have lost. But that was my expectations, and they weren't realistic. I have to listen to what you guys say. And if you say I'm doing it at the right, pace or whatever, I have to believe that, because you guys haven't steered me wrong yet. Right.
And again, you brought up a great point there. It's just like, it takes time. We all want it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We all want to, you hear these things, what it is, you hear these things on TV, and they're like, oh, you're going to, drop 10 pounds in 2 days doing this. And that's not realistic. That's not real body fat loss. And real body fat loss equals the changes that you have. going from a size 18 to a size 8. That's
Right.
the type of change that you want to have, not just scale weight. Scale weight doesn't mean anything. But
Right.
again, along the journey, you're going to have, everybody has hiccups along the way. It's
Right.
normal. It's just a matter of persevering through them. And I think that, me and Laura had a conversation when you left that day. And I don't know if we've ever had explained this to you, but we said, she's working so hard. It's going to come to her. She just has to keep sticking it through. And usually some people, when they get to that point that you got to, they go the opposite way. They say, you know what, forget this. I'm having pizza today. I'm going crazy. And then they're backfiring and backpedaling and go back. But you didn't. You stuck the course. You followed through. And now look, you're at the lowest weight you've ever been. That's huge.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, it's good. I mean, of course, my first reaction is, oh, okay, I'll just go and, like you said, like, go ahead and eat pizza. I'm like, but that's only going to put me back even more. So I'm going to have to struggle or even try even harder.
Right.
And I don't want to go backwards.
Right.
I don't want to go backwards. I've worked too hard. And now this really is becoming a way of life. It really is, where I measure my food. In fact, my family makes fun of me. You taking out that scale again? Yes. You don't have to. Yes, I do.
It's okay. My mom still does it. I've been doing it for like 20 years, and my mom still does the same thing to me. You still need the scale after all this time? Yes, Ma.
Yeah.
So someone listening to this right now, they're like, oh my God, you're measuring your food. You're taking out a food scale. What is this? Is it really that big of an inconvenience?
No, it's not. It's not at all. You just do it a few times and it becomes second nature. Yeah, it really does. The one that I have has like the little bowl that you put on top of it, and it's very easy to measure it. It really is. It's like I said, it's becoming second nature.
Nancy, do you go out to eat often? Well, not now, obviously, with everything going on, but prior to all the quarantine stuff.
Yes and no. I do. I go out, but I try and stick with the grilled chicken and grilled chicken. I usually go out Friday nights with my girlfriends, but towards the beginning or towards the end, before this happened, I was like, you know what? I just can't do it anymore. I just can't. I can't go out to that. I was tired of the grilled chicken, trying to figure out what they did, how much, oil did they use and stuff. And then this came. And now I'm not going out and eating that much. It's a lot easier to cook at home and eat at home. But I'm going to have to try your Chipotle. I haven't tried that yet.
No, you know what it is? Going out to eat is huge. It's like a pastime for people. That's how people get together. That's how people interact with each other. They go out to eat. And, even if you try to eat healthy going out, you still can overeat calories. It's just a matter, just the way they cook it. Some restaurants, they literally put butter on top of the food just so it looks shiny. But just adding butter on top of the food, it's adding a ton more calories, a ton more fat. So I was just curious about that. So even still, you were still going out to eat, though. You were still living your life. It wasn't like you were.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I just chose because they always wanted to go to Italian. So, I mean, there was just so much that you could eat, But I love going for Chinese because I do steamed shrimp. I do steamed vegetables, So there are things to eat. It's just, for me, it's just easier not to go out and eat.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with that. And again, I also like the Chinese. I'm Italian, and my mom overcooked the Italian food. So if they got rid of pasta, I would never miss it. But my wife loves Italian food. So every time we go, I understand what you're saying, because when you go to an Italian restaurant, there's only so much you can get.
Right.
There's only so much, but you can make it work. You make it work.
Oh, yeah. No, I do make it work. But, now I just have to make different choices. And my choice is not to do that.
Right.
I'd rather go out for Carvel.
Your friends won't mind that, I'm sure. Go out for dessert. So Nancy, we talked about nutrition, and let's talk about the exercise portion of it. So you said you had a trainer before, and you mentioned you were doing all those bad things that I mentioned in my video, the unfair advantage video that I gave everybody the other day. So what has been different as far as exercise for you? Because I know you haven't done a lot of the things that we've had you do. So talk about your experience. Again, I remember the first day I told you only a half hour. So talk about the first day leaving and to your first workout. What were you thinking? What went on in your mind the first week?
After the first workout, I was like, oh my God, how can I do this? I'm too old. I'm too old to be starting this. at my age, I shouldn't be doing this. And, you know, it was frustrating because I couldn't do all the exercises that you guys would do. Not that I couldn't do them, but I was struggling. Maybe it was too heavy or whatever. So I was like, I don't know if I could do this or not, but I stuck it to it. There was just something in my mind that knew that you guys were going to help me, you know, and you kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. And even when I don't want to do it, I do it. And after I'm done, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
So, you know, the half an hour is unbelievable how much of a workout you get in just a half an hour. Because I was going to the gym for an hour and I didn't get the same workout.
You know, it's funny, and I talked about this in that same video, you know, there's a difference between having a hard workout and a productive one. And the thing is that you want to string along productive workouts back to back. That's how you make progress. And you've progressed so much. And then you're a prime example of what I was talking about in that video. Because when you first came in, you know, you could barely squat. You could barely squat. And now you're squatting with weight on your back. I mean, I remember, again, it's been a while since we've been in the gym, and I don't really remember what the weight that you had on the bar last time, but it was significant amount compared to when we started.
Yes. That's one of my major accomplishments that I felt good at. I like doing the squats.
Yeah. And to top it all off, when you came in, you didn't want to get strong. That wasn't like your goal, but it became fun, right?
Exactly. I love it. I really do.
That's
I look
awesome.
forward to it. In this insane world that we're living in, the only routine that I have that I look forward to is working out in the morning. That's my day. I work out and I'm set for the day because it's a constant thing.
Right. It's my highlight of my day too. Don't worry. You're not alone, Nancy. That's for sure. You're not alone.
Like, people must think crazy, but I look forward to that.
And my wife does it to me too. You know, I talk about this all the time with people, but you know, it's my wife does it to me too. She's like, "Do you have to work out today?" It's like, "Yeah, I have to." You don't understand. Like, I have to. It's like, because it becomes so part of your routine that if you miss it, it screws you up. You're in a bad mood. You get kind of grumpy, you know, if you miss it, but it's when you get it in and you feel like good and, you know, the endorphins get flowing. It's a lot of mental going into it too. We talk about all the physical benefits, but there's a lot of mental in exercising, period.
Yeah. And there are times when I don't want to work out and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. And I'll say it during the workout. My head is just not here today, but you know what? I'm going to just do the best that I can.
And you do every time. And sometimes you get the best workout in those days.
Yeah.
So Nancy, what was your favorite memory so far with us during your time with us? There's got to be one moment that sticks out.
Oh, when you guys were doing that, what were you do? When you guys were going to go and do now I can't think of the name of it.
The Spartan race?
Yes. And I came to the practice. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die.
You did so good. Well, I wanted to do another one this year.
Yeah. I don't know if I would be ready for that one, but I mean, I kind of felt that day that I was like, oh, look, I can't do this. But you guys were really cheering me on, even though I wasn't doing, you know, as well as I should have. But it was an accomplishment, something that I had never done before. I'd never did that type of a workout. And that to me was a good accomplishment, even though I couldn't do it 100%, but I did the best that I could.
You did phenomenal. That was a great day, actually. A lot of people talk about those workouts. I wanted to do another Spartan race this time, but you're coming with us when we do it this time.
Oh, okay.
You're coming with us because you're going to accomplish that too. We're going to add that to your resume.
Okay.
So Nancy, what has been your motivating factor in all this? Because as you know, you said it yourself, you know, you lose interest, you start to lose motivation. What motivates you at 59 years old to continue this?
I like the way that I'm starting to look, and I love the compliments. I really do. The compliments are unbelievable. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, what do you do?" You know, and it makes me feel good, you know, because it just does the way that I look. I really do, and I feel so healthy. And I also went off my blood pressure medication, so I'm off that now too.
Awesome.
So yeah, so I just feel good. I just feel good about everything.
Did you get the compliment yet that you lost too much weight and that you should stop?
Yes, I got that in my face though. They're like, "You're losing too much in your face."
Yeah,
okay, well, yeah. But I'm no, I didn't.
The trick is you can't listen to that because then it starts to screw up in your mind because then you're like, okay, I'm too skinny now so I can eat a little bit more.
Right.
Just ignore that. Just ignore that. Just keep going. You're on the right path. You know, people say things out of jealousy sometimes because
Right.
they can't do what you've done. So they'll
Right.
say anything to kind of like, it's just human nature. That's what people do it all the time.
Right.
All
I'm
the
like, well,
time.
don't look at my face. Look at my hips. When I look at my hips, you'll say I'm not skinny.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, Nancy. Well, thank you again for your time. I appreciated this interview. I think this was awesome. It's going to help a lot more women your age get to exactly where you are now and get them to finally get results. But as a parting thing, what advice would you give someone who's listening to this, who's thinking about starting?
Definitely try it. You'll be amazed at the results that you get, and it is quick. It is a quick loss, and if I could do it, anybody could do it. That's how I honestly feel. It's just so motivating, and you just feel so good about yourself. And I would tell anybody to try it because it's well worth it. It really, really is. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I love you guys, and I couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you, Nancy. We love you too. One more thing. What tip would you give them if they decide, okay, I'm going to do this? What would be your biggest tip for them, for anyone starting?
Go in with an open mind, and because you can do it. If you put your mind to it, you can do it.
Right.
You know, that's it. Your mind has to be at it, and you can do it if you have an open mind and listen to everything that you guys suggest to do, because it
Boom,
does
you
work.
said it. That's what I was looking for, the listen part, because that's the
Yeah.
most important. The listen and take action, because those are the two things that determine success. If you listen and then you just take action on those things. Well, Nancy, thank you so much for this. We really, really appreciate it. And we look forward to getting you more results and getting you even leaner than you thought you were going to get. So
Thank
keep
you,
up the good work.
Anthony. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Nancy.